Hey there, future CEOs and innovators. Since you're exploring the world of entrepreneurship in your class, you're probably starting to see how crucial it is to connect with the people who will actually want what you're creating.
Yeah, definitely.
Think of this as your fast track to getting a solid handle on marketing, what it is, why it matters, and how you can use it, based on some cool videos and that lesson you've been checking out.
Exactly. We've taken a close look at those YouTube clips and that PDF lesson you shared, all to, distill the essential marketing ideas, the ones that are most relevant to what you're learning right now in your entrepreneurship journey.
Right. Our goal today is to make these core marketing concepts super clear, maybe even a bit engaging for you. We want to give you a strong foundation so you can start thinking like a marketer as you develop your business ideas.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's jump right in. What exactly is marketing all about, especially for someone, starting out like you?
Well, at its core, marketing is really about creating value for customers and building lasting relationships with them.
Value in relationships.
Okay, yeah. It's about really understanding what people need and want, and then figuring out how your product or service can meet those needs, profitably in a way that also makes sense for your business.
Needs versus wants. That's a fundamental idea that came up right there in
Yeah,
your materials. Can you explain the difference in a way that really clicks?
sure. Think of needs as the basic things everyone requires, things like food, a place to live, feeling safe, having clothes. These are pretty universal human
Stuff
requirements.
you absolutely have to have.
Exactly. Now, wants are how we as individuals and within our cultures choose to fulfill those needs. So you need food, but you might want a specific brand of sneakers or, say, a gourmet burger.
Gotcha. So marketing isn't about inventing some brand new need out of thin air.
Not usually, no.
Instead, it's about tapping into those existing needs and showing how your particular product or service is the best way to satisfy a specific want.
You nailed it.
And that's when we start getting into target markets and positioning, which I know your lesson covered.
Precisely. Once you grasp the difference between needs and wants, you start thinking about who specifically you're trying to reach that's your target market.
Right. Not just everyone.
Definitely not everyone. It's the specific group of people who are most likely to be interested in what you have to offer. Segmentation is the process of dividing that larger market into these smaller, more defined groups based on shared characteristics or needs.
Okay.
Then, positioning is all about how you want your product or service to be seen by that target market compared to your competitors, what makes you stand out in their minds.
So instead of trying to sell your awesome invention to absolutely everyone, which is frankly impossible,
Yeah, pretty much.
you focus on specific groups who will really get it and want it, and you highlight what makes your invention the best solution for them.
Exactly. And the overarching aim of all of this is twofold. First, to attract new customers by providing them with superior value, something that truly meets their needs and wants
Well,
effectively.
makes sense.
And second, to keep those customers happy and coming back for more by ensuring they are satisfied with their experience. Loyal customers are, well, they're gold, a cornerstone of any successful business.
Okay, so we understand the why behind marketing. Now let's dive into the how. Your materials definitely talked about the famous 4 Ps of marketing. Feels like every business student learns about these.
They do, and for good reason, because they're the foundational tools in any marketer's toolkit. The 4PS: product, price, place, which is also called distribution, and promotion, are the essential elements you'll need to consider when building your marketing strategy.
The core decisions.
Think of them as the key decisions you'll make to connect with your customers, yeah.
Let's break down the first P, product.
Yeah.
When we say product, what all does that include? Is it just the physical thing?
No, it's more than just the physical item you sell. Product encompasses everything you offer to your target market. This includes the core features and benefits, its quality, its design, how it's packaged, and really importantly, its brand.
The whole package, basically.
The whole package. Also, as your lesson likely mentioned, products go through different stages like an introduction, then growth, maturity, and maybe eventually decline. Understanding this product life cycle helps you adapt your marketing efforts over time.
That makes sense. You wouldn't market a brand new app the same way you'd market, I don't know, a well-established snack food, for example.
Exactly right.
All right, next up is price. It's not just about picking a number, right? There's more to it.
Definitely not. Price is the amount you charge, sure, but it's influenced by a whole host of factors that were probably covered in your resources. You need to think about your own costs.
How much it costs you to make it.
Yeah, your costs to produce or deliver the product, what your competitors are charging for similar things, how much value your target customer perceives in what you're offering.
Ah, perceived value. Important.
Crucial, and ultimately what they're willing and able to pay.
And there are different strategies companies use to set their prices, aren't there? Like different approaches.
Exactly. You might have learned about cost plus pricing, where you calculate your costs and then just add a certain percentage for profits. Simple, but maybe not optimal.
Okay.
Then there's value-based pricing, which focuses on setting your price based on what your customers believe your product is worth.
More customer focused.
Very much so. Then competitive pricing involves looking at what your rivals are charging and positioning yourself accordingly, maybe pricing lower, higher, or the same.
And promotional pricing.
Right. And then there's promotional pricing, where you offer discounts or special deals for a limited time. Think sales, coupons, that kind of thing.
The PDF you looked at mentioned how Pepsi uses pricing to encourage people to buy larger quantities.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
Right. So Pepsi often prices their bigger bottles or multi-packs at a lower cost per ounce compared to their single, smaller servings.
Ah, okay. The unit price is lower.
Exactly. This encourages consumers who are looking for better value to buy more at once, which can increase Pepsi's overall sales volume. It's a pretty smart way to influence purchasing behavior through pricing strategy.
Okay, that makes sense. Get people to buy more by making it seem like a better deal. Now let's talk about place or distribution. How does your product actually get from, where it's made to the people who want to buy it?
Yeah. Place is all about making your product accessible to your target market. This involves the different channels you use to reach them.
Channels like?
Well, whether that's selling online through your own website or platforms like Etsy, maybe having a physical store or partnering with other retailers, it also includes the entire logistics process, getting your product from its origin to the customer. So transportation, warehousing, the whole chain.
So it's not just about having a cool product. You need to figure out the best way to actually get it into people's hands. That sounds complicated.
It can be, precisely.
Yeah.
That's where channel management comes in. It involves selecting the right partners, like those online marketplaces or local shops, then motivating them to effectively sell your product, and also keeping an eye on how well they're actually doing.
One of the videos you watched probably mentioned PepsiCo's massive distribution network. Has to be a huge operation.
Oh, it is enormous. PepsiCo's products are available in over 200 countries. They have bottling plants and distribution centers all over the world, and they've built really strong relationships with a huge range of retailers, from supermarkets to, corner stores.
Wow.
And they also strategically partner with major fast food chains, think Wendy's, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, to make sure their drinks are readily available wherever their target customers might be.
So that accessibility is key.
Totally. For you as a young entrepreneur, thinking about where and how your customers will access your product is just as crucial, even if your initial scale is much, much smaller.
Absolutely. You can have the most amazing product at the perfect price, but if people can't easily find it and buy it, you're going to struggle.
You really are.
All right, let's move on to the final P, promotion. This is all about how you communicate with your potential customers, right? Getting the word out.
Exactly. Promotion includes all the different ways you inform, persuade, and remind customers about your product or brand. There are several key tools that fall under the umbrella of promotion.
Like advertising, which is probably what most people first think of when they hear marketing.
Yes, advertising is a big one. It's paid, non-personal communication through various channels, things like social media ads, online videos, maybe even flyers you might see around your school or neighborhood.
In some ways, are better than others now, I guess.
Definitely. One of the videos you watched might have even touched on how online advertising, especially on platforms where your generation spends a lot of time, like TikTok or Instagram, can be a really effective way to reach your target audience. Maybe something about Facebook ads for B2B even.
Right, reaching people where they are. What other elements are part of promotion?
Okay, so there's public relations, or PR. That's about building a positive image for your brand and managing your relationships with the media and the public.
Getting good press.
Sort of, yeah. Then you have personal selling, which involves direct interaction with customers. Like if you were selling your product face-to-face at a school event or a market stall.
Okay.
Sales promotion includes short-term incentives to encourage immediate purchase. Think discounts, coupons, contests, buy one, get one free.
Things that make you buy now.
Exactly. And finally, direct marketing involves communicating directly with specific customers, perhaps through email or personalized messages. Though, some experts like Gary Vaynerchuk might strongly advise against just blasting out bulk emails.
Ah, so targeted is better than spamming.
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
Much better. The marketing landscape is constantly evolving, and what worked a few years ago might not be as effective today. Your sources likely highlighted the importance of understanding where your target audience spends their time and tailoring your promotional efforts to those channels specifically.
And big companies like Pepsi, they definitely invest a lot in promotion, right?
Oh, absolutely. Pepsi has a long history of using celebrity endorsements. Think about famous musicians or athletes who partner with them, like Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, Beyonce over the years.
Huge names.
Huge names. They also engage in major sponsorships, like sponsoring the Super Bowl halftime show, the NBA, big soccer leagues. It helps them reach a wide audience and associate their brand with exciting experiences.
Builds that brand image.
Totally. And they use social media extensively to connect with consumers and run engaging campaigns. The Bring Home Happiness campaign in China, which you might have seen mentioned, is a great example of using digital platforms to create buzz.
So we've got these 4 Ps, but it can't be as simple as just doing a little bit of each one in isolation, right? They must all work together somehow.
Exactly. That's a really key point. A truly successful marketing strategy requires a well-balanced and integrated marketing mix. All 4 Ps need to align and support each other.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like if you're selling a high-end luxury product at a premium price, you'll want to distribute it through exclusive channels, maybe high-end boutiques or a very sleek website. And your promotion should emphasize its quality, its craftsmanship, its status, not just a low price.
Everything has to fit together.
Precisely, it needs to be consistent.
And it's not a set it and forget it kind of thing, is it? You have to
Yeah.
keep evaluating and adjusting your 4 Ps based on what's happening.
Absolutely. The market is constantly changing. Customer preferences evolve, new competitors emerge. As a marketer, you need to continually assess how effective your current mix is and be prepared to make adjustments based on feedback, sales data, market trends.
Stay agile.
You have to. Think about companies like Coca-Cola. They've maintained a strong brand through consistent product quality and iconic advertising for decades, adapting their message but keeping the core consistent.
True.
Or Apple, constantly innovating its products, maintaining premium pricing, creating that sleek retail experience, and using very targeted promotions. These are examples of companies with really well-integrated, continually adjusted marketing mixes.
Okay, so you've got your 4 Ps, but where do you even start when deciding on your product, price, place, and promotion? That's where really understanding your customers comes in, right? Market research and knowing who you're actually trying to reach.
Precisely. You can't effectively market anything if you don't have a deep understanding of your customers, their needs, their wants, their preferences, how they behave. Market research is the process of gathering that crucial information.
It's the foundation.
It really is. It helps you make informed decisions about all aspects of your marketing, not just guessing.
And there are different ways to go about doing that research, aren't there? Different methods.
Yes, broadly speaking, there's primary research where you collect original data firsthand, specifically for your questions.
Like talking to people directly.
Yeah, exactly. This could involve creating surveys to ask people directly about their opinions, conducting interviews with potential customers, or running focus groups where you have small group discussions to get more in-depth feedback.
Okay, that's primary. What's secondary?
Then there's secondary research, where you analyze existing information that's already out there. Someone else collected it, but it's useful to you, like industry reports, market statistics, census data, or even information you can find online about your potential customers or competitors.
So using info that already exists.
Right. Both are valuable.
I remember your lesson probably talked about creating customer personas. What's the idea behind those? Sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, they're really useful. Customer personas are like fictional representations of your ideal customers. You
Yeah.
give them names, backgrounds, jobs, interests, maybe even challenges or goals related to your product.
Like creating characters.
Kind of, yeah. This helps you visualize exactly who you're trying to reach and tailor your marketing efforts more effectively to their specific needs and motivations. It makes your target market feel much more real, less abstract.
So it helps you step into your customer's shoes and think about things from their perspective. What about understanding the customer journey? That sounds important too.
Definitely. That involves mapping out all the different touch points a customer has with your brand. From the moment they first become aware of you, maybe see an ad, then research you, then buy, then maybe need support
The
afterwards.
whole
The
experience.
whole experience, exactly. Understanding this journey helps you identify opportunities to improve their experience at each stage, remove friction points, and it's also really important to keep track of how satisfied your customers are and whether they're likely to remain loyal to your brand. Monitoring feedback, reviews.
And there are so many things that influence why someone decides to buy something. It's not always just about logic, is it?
Oh, that's definitely true. Very often, it's not just logic. You have psychological factors, their motivations, how they perceive information, what they've learned from past experiences, their attitudes and
How
beliefs.
do you feel about it?
Yeah. Then there are social factors, such as the influence of their friends, family, social media circles, maybe influencers they follow, and the broader culture they're a part of. What's seen as cool or acceptable
Peer pressure, maybe?
could be part of it. And finally, personal factors like their age, their stage in life, their lifestyle, personality, economic situation, and even their own self-image can play a significant role in their purchasing decisions.
Wow, lots to consider. The resources you looked at probably gave some examples of market research methods in action, like surveys and focus groups you mentioned.
Yes, surveys are great for gathering quantitative data numbers from a large number of people about their preferences, buying habits, satisfaction levels, quick and broad. Focus groups, on the other hand, are more qualitative. They allow for more in-depth discussions and can uncover valuable insights into why people feel a certain way, their underlying motivations. You get richer, deeper info, but from fewer people.
Makes sense. What else?
Analyzing existing sales data, website traffic, what people are saying about your product or similar products on social media, that's huge now. Listening online. And don't forget about looking at what your competitors are doing.
Competitor analysis.
Yeah, understanding their products, pricing, marketing strategies is crucial market research. How are they positioning themselves? Where are their gaps?
One of the key things I remember learning, maybe from that Info Team consulting video, is that understanding customer needs goes beyond just what they say they want. You have to dig deeper.
Exactly. That's a sophisticated point. Customers often express their needs in terms of solutions they're already familiar with. I need a faster horse, right?
Right, instead of, I need to get there quicker.
Precisely. Your job as a marketer or an entrepreneur is to ask the right questions, observe, and really understand the core problem they're trying to solve or the underlying desire they're trying to fulfill, the job they're trying to get done.
Understanding the why behind the what.
You got it. And understanding the different criteria that different people within a potential customer organization use to make decisions is also vital, especially if you're selling B2B business to business. You might need to satisfy the tech person, the finance person, the end user.
Different goals for different people.
Yeah. Ultimately, understanding customer needs is about understanding people and what truly drives them, their business goals, their decision criteria, even their personal goals.
So it all comes back to creating value for those customers. It's not just about pushing a product. It's about offering something that genuinely makes their lives better or fulfills a real need.
Precisely. Marketing creates value by meeting customer needs and wants more effectively than the competition does. It's about the balance between the benefits a customer receives.
What they get out of it.
Yeah, whether those are functional benefits like the product works well, emotional benefits, it makes them feel good, or even social benefits, it connects them with others or improves their status. And the costs they incur, which include not just the money they spend, but also their time, their effort, maybe psychological stress or perceived risks. Value is benefits minus costs.
And that value, that positive balance, is what helps you build those strong customer relationships we talked about earlier.
Yes, absolutely. Building strong, value-based relationships is essential for fostering customer satisfaction, loyalty, and keeping them coming back retention, which is usually much cheaper than acquiring new customers.
How do you build those relationships?
Well, through things like personalizing your marketing messages, providing excellent customer service, really going above and beyond, and perhaps even offering loyalty programs that reward repeat customers. Think about companies known for amazing customer service, like Zappos maybe,
Oh yeah, they're famous for it.
or brands like Starbucks that create a community feel and offer personalized rewards through their app. Amazon Prime is another huge example of a loyalty driver.
Your lesson probably touched on the different stages of delivering value to customers, doesn't it? Like a process.
It likely covered the idea that it's a process, yeah. Often called the value delivery process. It involves, first, choosing the value you want to provide that's doing your homework. Segmentation, targeting, developing a compelling value proposition.
Figuring out your strategy.
Right. Then it's about providing the value, actually creating and delivering that value through your product, pricing, and distribution strategies, making it real.
The execution.
Exactly. And finally, it's about communicating the value effectively to your target market through your promotional activities, telling people about the great value you offer. It's a comprehensive approach, thinking about value at every step.
Now, not all businesses approach marketing in the same way, do they? I remember learning about different marketing orientations, like different philosophies.
That's right. Marketing orientations are the different philosophies or approaches that guide a company's marketing efforts. And they've kind of evolved over time.
How so?
Well, initially, many companies had a production orientation. The main goal was just to produce goods efficiently and assume that they would sell if they were affordable and available. Build it and they will come.
Like the early days of Ford Model T, maybe?
Oh.
Make it cheap and make lots.
Kind of, yeah. If you build a really great, efficient product, people would automatically want to buy it. The focus was inward on production efficiency.
Okay, what came next?
Then there was often a shift towards a sales orientation. The focus here was on aggressively selling whatever the company could produce, often using strong advertising and sales tactics to push products onto customers, whether they really needed them or not.
High-pressure sales.
Sometimes, yeah. The goal was just to move inventory.
But then the thinking changed again, right? To be more about what the customers actually wanted.
Yes, that led to the marketing orientation, or the marketing concept. Here, the primary focus is on understanding and meeting the needs and wants of your target customers better than competitors.
Customer is king, sort of thing.
Exactly. Companies started doing more market research to figure out what people wanted, and then tailoring their products, services, and the whole marketing mix to match those desires.
And is there anything beyond that?
Well, more recently, there's been a growing emphasis on a holistic or societal marketing orientation. This considers not only customer needs and company profits, but also the long-term well-being of society and the environment, thinking about the bigger impact.
So being socially responsible.
Exactly. Balancing company needs, customer wants, and society's long-term interests.
I remember one of the resources you looked at used the example of different phone companies to illustrate these different orientations, like BlackBerry versus iPhone.
Right, that's a classic example often used. You could argue that maybe early BlackBerry was very product-oriented, focused on the keyboard and security features. Then maybe some companies relied heavily on aggressive sales tactics or carrier deals, perhaps more sales-oriented. But Apple, with the iPhone, really exemplified a market orientation by focusing intensely on user experience, design, the app ecosystem, things consumers didn't even know they wanted but then loved. They understood the user's desires deeply.
It seems like the most successful businesses today really put the customer at the center of everything they do. That marketing concept seems key.
It really is. That's the core of the modern marketing concept. It's about making customer satisfaction the driving force behind all your business decisions.
Not just the marketing department's job.
No, it should permeate the whole company. And as your materials likely emphasize, the very first step in putting this into practice is to thoroughly research and understand your target audience, creating those detailed marketing personas we talked about earlier.
Back to research again.
Always back to research. By knowing your audience inside and out, you can make sure all your marketing efforts, product, price, place, promotion are relevant and impactful for them.
Now, as you start thinking about your own businesses, it's important to remember that marketing isn't just about making sales. There are also important ethical considerations to keep in mind, right?
Absolutely. That's critical. Ethical marketing is about conducting your marketing activities with honesty, fairness, transparency, and a sense of responsibility.
Doing the right thing.
Essentially, yes. It involves being transparent with your customers, not using misleading or deceptive practices, respecting privacy, being fair in pricing and promotions.
The resources you explored might have highlighted some companies that are really trying to do marketing the right way. Any examples come to mind?
They might have. You often see examples like Tom MS Shoes with their original one-for-one model, donating shoes.
Oh yeah, know them.
Or Everlane, which emphasizes radical transparency about their costs and ethical manufacturing. Dr. Bronner's soaps focus on fair trade, environmental causes, conscious coffees supporting farmers. There are many companies trying to integrate ethical and social responsibility into their core business.
And does that actually help the business?
Increasingly, yes. Consumers, especially younger generations like yours, really care about these values. They're more likely to support businesses that align with their beliefs. So doing the right thing ethically isn't just morally correct, it can also build greater trust, loyalty, and a stronger brand reputation in the long run.
Good for business and good for the world.
That's the idea behind socially responsible marketing, too. Thinking about eco-friendly practices, supporting social causes, avoiding harmful marketing, especially to vulnerable groups.
So when we step back and look at the bigger picture, what role does marketing play in the overall success of a business? And maybe even in society as a whole?
Well, marketing is absolutely fundamental to business success. It's the engine that identifies customer needs and connects them with the right products and services, which drives sales growth.
The revenue driver.
Often, yes. Effective marketing also helps companies differentiate themselves, stand out from their competitors, build strong brand awareness, and foster that crucial long-term customer loyalty.
And it has a significant impact on us as consumers, doesn't it? Shapes our choices.
Definitely. Marketing influences what we buy, how we perceive brands, what we think is fashionable or desirable, and even our perceptions of trends and culture. Good marketing provides us with information to make purchasing decisions.
Helps us choose.
And through personalization, it can make our shopping experiences more relevant and tailored to our individual preferences. However, it's crucial, as we said, that this influence is wielded ethically and responsibly. No manipulation.
And in some ways, marketing can even shape culture and create iconic brands that become part of our shared identity, right?
That's true. Think about some of the huge global brands, their marketing, their advertising, their logos are recognized everywhere. They've played a huge role in shaping their image and their place in our culture. Marketing can also reflect and sometimes reinforce certain cultural values and trends through its messaging.
So for you, the entrepreneurship student who's been listening in, what are the key things you should really take away as you continue to learn about marketing? What's the bottom line?
Okay, I think the most important thing to remember is that marketing is fundamentally about understanding your customer, their needs, their wants, their motivations, what truly matters to them, deep empathy.
Start with the customer.
Always start with the customer. Then you use the tools of the marketing mix, product, price, place, and promotion in an integrated way to create genuine value for those customers and build lasting relationships.
The 4 Ps working together.
Exactly. And all of this needs to be guided by thorough market research, doing your homework, and a truly customer-centric mindset. And finally, always remember the importance of conducting your marketing ethically and with an eye towards social responsibility.
Okay, that's a great summary. So here's something for you listeners to really think about as we wrap up. Consider how this fundamental shift in business, moving from just focusing on what you can make to truly understanding and serving your customers, has totally revolutionized the business world.
Yeah, that's a big shift.
Think about the incredible opportunities this customer-focused approach creates for new and innovative ventures, maybe like the ones you're dreaming up. And how can you apply these core marketing principles, understanding needs, creating value, building relationships to your own entrepreneurial ideas, no matter how big or small they might seem right now? Something to chew on. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.